The Mayo Stages Rally, hugely successful event, of course, in Claremorris the last number of years. We'll be delighted that it's moving on to Ballina this year. I'm delighted to welcome Cathal Doyle, the Vice Chairman of Mayo and District Motorsport Club, on the line now. Cathal, good afternoon. Thanks a million for speaking with us.
Hello, Angelina.
Cathal, look, as I said there in the introduction, the rally going to Ballina, and I know for years there's been a great association between Ballina and the world of rallying.
Well, that's right indeed. I suppose if you look at the history of Mayo and District Motorsport Club, it was founded really back in the 70s, 1976, in Ballina by a bunch of local enthusiasts, and it was called Ballina Motor Club. And indeed, for the first 25 years of its existence, it was known as Ballina Motor Club. Only in 1999 did it change the name to Mayo and District Motorsport Club, just to reflect the wider area that the club represents. But the first Stages Rally was held, I think, the year after the club was founded in 1977, based in Ballina. And then over the years, there have been many events held in the area. So there's a huge kind of history and I suppose pride with the local community that the rally, has been there. Now, the last rally that was held in Ballina was in 2002, and since then, we've been based in Castlebar and in Claremorris, and both have been very, very successful locations. But I suppose it's great, really, that that for 2013 the rally is returning to its spiritual home in Ballina.
Absolutely, and you mentioned there, Castlebar and Claremorris as destinations for the rally over the last number of years. I know that, and as I've been watching it, particularly so in Claremorris, I wouldn't have been as involved, we'll say, prior to that when it was in Castlebar. The rally has been so successful, and it's allowed the club, I know, to go from strength to strength over the last number of years.
Yeah, that's very true. I think running a major event like the Mayo Stages Rally, it's a really huge undertaking. And nowadays it's only possible if you have the support and the buy-in of a whole bunch of people, and of people like from Mayo County Council who allow the roads to be closed, but then the local residents, that the stages pass through, and the local business community, because it's a huge financial undertaking now as well, and really without the support of the local community and the local businesses that support it, it wouldn't be possible to run events. And I think that's where in the last 3 years, the rally, when it was based in Claremorris, really has come on leaps and bounds, and it's kind of reached new levels of professionalism now and set standards that I think really has set a template for many of the other rallies that take place around the country to match. And certainly the feedback, from Motorsport Ireland and from people, that come to watch the rally say that the event, that they have seen in Claremorris the last few years, really kind of did set new standards. And that's down to, support like from people like the Claremorris Chamber of Commerce, and then the sponsors, the McWilliam Park Hotel in Claremorris, who were our base for the 3 years were there. Sponsors like Supermax and Cost Cutters and Ballindine and Claremorris, Hillside Service Station, Free Transport Magazine, to name a few, and then Print and Design, EPS and KPS Colour Print. Now, all of those they weren't just sponsors, they were actually sort of partners, if you like, in what we were trying to do and what we were trying to achieve. And they all bought into the whole idea of a rally weekend and supported from the ceremonial start and right through the actual event, and really helped to make the event, to build it up to be the major kind of sporting event that it is nowadays.
Now, you covered the rally extensively for us last year, Cathal, and what struck me was the way the drivers spoke about, as you said there, the planning, about the route itself, how challenging it was, how enjoyable it was for themselves and their navigators, and that must be brilliant to hear that feedback coming from the people who know best what rallies should be like.
That's right, and these people do compete all over the country, and many of them abroad as well, and they know the good stages and the bad stages and the well-run events and the poorly run events. So yes, it is very, very positive to hear that from them. So I guess now, I suppose, the challenges, that was then, but now we're left to look forward to Ballina in 2013, and I suppose the challenge is for us to set the standards again and have an event that's as good or better than what we had before.
Absolutely. Now, Ballina, is the local Ballina area behind the rally returning to the area? Why exactly have you decided to make the move at this point?
Well, absolutely, a huge support. I suppose, if you look at our bigger picture, we are Mayo and District Motorsport Club. Our remit is to cover motorsport in the county and the surrounding areas. So that's why we will always be looking around, to see where is suitable. And one of the reasons really that we have come back to Ballina is that there has been a huge level of support from the local people, both the residents, but also the business community, that we bring the event back. I suppose they've seen kind of what has been done. It's an opportunity, I suppose, at what's a fairly quiet time of the year to bring some much needed business to the area. And again, certainly we've had people come on board. Now we have some sponsors lined up. We obviously will be looking for some more as well. But our main sponsors for the event are Hotel Ballina, where the rally will be based, and Kennedy Motors, who have outlets in Balmullet and Ballina. So they are title sponsors. They'll appear on the name of the rally. But behind them we have people like stage sponsors and people like Tuffy's Gala and Max Tires in Ballina. They're coming on board to support us as stage sponsors. And then other people like Hollister and Dempsey Car Dismantlers, they're also on board. So as I say, it's a very broad kind of reach of business and people that are involved. But really, as I said before, it's sort of this kind of feeling, that the rally does belong in Ballina, and that they're so happy that it's coming back here for 2013.
And I was just going to say there as well, you kind of alluded to it. I mean, the boost that it brings, I would imagine, to an area. I remember Claremorris Chamber doing a few pieces with us coming up to the rally and talking about the boost that it gives to the businesses, to the local hotels, the local B&Bs, because you have to, I suppose, take into account that it's not just the drivers and navigators, it's the whole teams that come down around each rally entry that make this such a huge event for a town to be hosting.
That's right, and as you quite rightly say, it isn't just the driver and co-driver, but they'll bring their support crews, but then there's also a huge number of spectators that come along as well. So it's as I say, quite a time of year now. This year now it's going to take place the week before St. Patrick's Day, so maybe it's again an opportunity to effectively launch the St. Patrick's Day festivities, and kind of build the whole thing into sort of an occasion for March for Ballina. And I think that's going to really again where the businesses really that are supporting us are coming on board, and the Chamber of Commerce, and kind of make the whole thing into a huge event.
Now, tell us a little bit more about the rally itself. As you said there, March 10th, and we'll have all of the festivities surrounding that, including the ceremonial start the night before.
That's right, yeah. I mean, obviously there's quite a lot of details to be worked out yet, although Porrick Roach, who's the clerk of the course for the rally for 2013, he was the clerk of the course last year in Claremorris, but he has his team set up and they've been working for the last number of months, putting everything in place. So really sort of it's a very busy time. The rally itself is on Sunday, which is the March the 10th, but it's much more of a weekend now than just a one-day event, because competitors start arriving from the Friday and they're doing their recce on the Saturday. But you mentioned there the ceremonial start. Something that really, I suppose, Mayo a few years ago was one of the first rounds to do something like this, and again has set a template that other clubs are now following. But it's a great opportunity to ceremonial start. But it takes place in the town centre, and it brings in, it allows the locals, particularly I suppose people with small children, to see the rally cars and the competitors up close, and gives them a flavour of what it's all about, and brings in big crowds into the town on Saturday night. The rally itself, stages based in the Ballina area. There's going to be 9 stages, which I think there'll be 3 stages run 3 times, making 9 stages in total. It's going to be a compact route, which I think will suit the competitors. There isn't an awful amount of road mileage, which obviously they don't want to do. They want to do the actual stage mileage. I think it's going to be there'll be good stages both for the competitors but also for spectators. There'll be lots of places where they can go and safely watch, so that's important. I suppose speaking about safety, I suppose that's just something again that the club the last few years has been very proactive in, that promoting safety and to ensuring that the action stays on the stages and not on the roads. And we've had a few campaigns in the past few years, and again we've been looking to work with like people like Noel Gibbons in Mayo County Council Road Safety Officer and the RSA to really kind of get the message out there about that rallying is rallying, and it's for the stages and not for the roads. So that's obviously all part of what we'll be doing as well over the weekend. And
I know that coming closer to the time, you'll be announcing lots more details on it, Cathal, and having your launch and all of that. So there will be plenty of details seeping through to the media prior to that date on March 10th.
That's right, indeed. Obviously, before the event, we'll have full Valley programmes and all the information that's needed, and there'll be lots on Midwest Radio and in the local media as well about what's happening. So, anyone that wants to come and watch it, there'll be plenty of opportunity to find out where it is and where to go.
Well, Cathal, listen, it sounds like it's going to be yet another fantastic event. We'll be chatting with you and indeed other members of the Mayo and District Motorsport Club, lots more in the run-up to it. Thank you very much for joining us, and can I take the opportunity to wish you a very happy Christmas and the best for 2013, and thanks for all your help throughout 2012.
Thank you, and many happy returns.
Okay. Take care, Cathal. Mind yourself. That's Cathal Doyle, the Vice Chairman of the Mayo and District Motorsport Club. So lots to look forward to at the rally. Really can't wait for it. It was a fantastic event over the last number of years, and I'm sure it will be matched equally in Ballina, probably the spiritual home of it when it comes to County Mayo. So looking forward to that one already.